Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to the channel. These stories are for anyone who's learned the hard way that words can change everything. Some sentences can never be taken back once they escape your lips. They don't just sting and disappear. They lodge themselves deep, echoing in the silence long after the argument is over. I learned that too late with a man who once believed I was his entire world. Let me take you back to how it all started. My name is Sarah, and Michael was my husband for 12 years. We met in college, back when life felt full of promise. He was studying engineering, always buried in books and projects, while I was chasing a degree in marketing. He wasn't the flashy type, the guy who turned heads at parties. No, Michael was quiet, reliable, the one who showed up when he said he would. Our first date was simple, a walk in the park with ice cream cones. He listened to me talk about my dreams, really listened, without interrupting or trying to one-up me. That was what drew me in. His steadiness felt like a safe harbor in a world that often felt chaotic. We got married young, right after graduation, our life together built slowly but surely. We bought a small house in the suburbs, the kind with a white picket fence and a backyard for barbecues. Our daughter, Emily, came along 3 years later. She had Michael's eyes, deep brown and thoughtful. Michael worked as a mechanic at a local garage, fixing cars from dawn till dusk. It wasn't glamorous, but it paid the bills. He came home every evening with grease on his hands, a tired smile on his face. He'd wash up, then help Emily with her puzzles or read her bedtime stories. On weekends, he'd tinker in the garage, fixing leaky faucets or building shelves for our living room. He wasn't big on grand gestures, like surprise vacations or fancy jewelry. His love showed in the little things, the way he made my coffee just right every morning, or how he'd rub my feet after a long day at my office job for years. That was enough. I felt content, even happy. But somewhere along the way, things shifted. Maybe it was the routine that wore me down, or seeing friends post about their exciting lives on social media. Their husbands seemed adventurous, taking them on trips to exotic places, whispering sweet nothings that made them blush. Michael wasn't like that. He was practical, always planning for the future, saving for Emily's college fund, maintaining the house. I started noticing the differences more and more. At work, I'd chat with colleagues about their weekends, hearing stories of romantic dinners or spontaneous getaways. In my mind, I began comparing. Why couldn't Michael be more outgoing? Why didn't he surprise me with flowers or plan a date night without me nagging? That resentment built quietly, like a storm gathering on the horizon. I didn't voice it at first. Instead, it leaked out in small ways, sighs when he came home late, eye rolls when he talked about his day at the garage. Michael noticed, I think, but he didn't push. He just kept being himself, steady as ever. Then came the night everything shattered. It was a Tuesday, nothing special. Emily was asleep upstairs. I'd had a rough day at work, a client yelled at me over the phone, and traffic home was a nightmare. Michael got in later than usual, tracking mud from the rain outside. The kitchen sink was piled with dishes from breakfast and lunch. I snapped at him about it, my voice sharper than I intended. He apologized, started washing them right away. But I was on a roll, my frustration boiling over. I accused him of not pulling his weight, of being too wrapped up in his job to notice the house falling apart. He turned from the sink, drying his hands on a towel. Sarah, I'm doing my best, he said calmly. That only fueled my anger. Why wasn't he fighting back? Why was he so passive? The words tumbled out before I could stop them. You're not the man I thought you were. You're not even the man you think you are. I hurled it like a weapon, aiming for his pride. The kitchen went silent. Michael's face changed in an instant. His eyes, usually warm, went flat. His shoulders tensed, but he didn't shout. He didn't slam a door or storm out. He just nodded once, slowly, and walked away. Up the stairs, to our bedroom. I stood there, heart pounding, regretting it already. But pride kept me from following him. Couples fight, I told myself. We'd get over it the next morning, He was up early as always, making breakfast for Emily. He kissed her forehead, helped her pack her school bag. But when he looked at me, something was missing. The usual good morning smile was gone. He spoke politely, asked if I needed anything from the store, but his voice was distant, like he was talking to a neighbor, not his wife. I brushed it off, figuring he'd thaw out by evening. But he didn't. Days turned into weeks. Michael kept up the routine: work, home, family duties. He attended Emily's school events, cheered at her soccer games, even helped her with math homework, explaining problems patiently until she got it. But with me, a wall had gone up. Conversation stayed surface level, about bills, groceries, schedules. No more late-night talks in bed, sharing dreams, or laughing about old memories. His touch vanished too. No hand on my back as we cooked together, no casual hugs in the hallway. I felt the chill deepen. At first, I ignored it, hoping time would heal. But the silence grew louder. I'd catch him staring out the window during dinner, his mind elsewhere. His phone became his companion, scrolling through news or work emails instead of chatting with me. I tried to bridge the gap. I cooked his favorite lasagna, set the table with candles, even wore that dress he once said made me look beautiful. "I'm sorry," I whispered one night as we lay in bed, the space between us feeling like an ocean. "I didn't mean it." He didn't turn away, but he didn't respond either. Just stared at the ceiling, his breathing even. "Michael, please," I pressed. Still nothing. That's when panic set in. I'd broken something fundamental. His pride in being a good man, the provider, the father, the husband, that was his core. My words had cracked it, and no apology could glue it back. Months passed, and our home felt like two separate worlds under one roof. We parented Emily together, keeping up appearances for her sake. She was only 8, too young to understand the shift, but I saw her glancing between us sometimes, sensing the tension. Michael never badmouthed me, never raised his voice. But the affection was gone. No more forehead kisses goodbye, no more "I love you" at the end of phone calls. I suggested counseling once, over breakfast. He looked up from his coffee, his eyes calm but empty. "What's there to fix?" he said softly. It stung worse than any yell. One evening, after Emily was in bed, I couldn't hold it in anymore. I sat on the couch, tears streaming, and begged. "Tell me how to make this right. I know I hurt you, but we can rebuild." He sat across from me, hands folded in his lap. No anger, just that quiet distance. "Some things don't heal, Sarah," he replied. "Some things stay broken." His words mirrored mine, but without the heat. They landed like a final door closing. He didn't file for divorce. He didn't move out. We coexisted, polite strangers in a shared life. Emily grew up with 2 parents, but I lost my partner. Now, years later, I see that look in his eyes every day, the caution, the emptiness. It's a reminder of what one moment of cruelty can do. I wonder if he'll ever open up again, or if I've condemned us to this half-life forever. Words are powerful. They build, they break, and sometimes, they bury what once was alive. If you're listening, remember that. Hold your tongue in anger. Because once spoken, some things can't be unsaid. And that's the story. If it resonated, hit that like button and share your thoughts in the comments. What words have you wished you could take back? Until next time, take care.